What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. Thank you guys for tuning in. Do we have a show for you today? So, I think there was a reason in history why women were always said that they should be seen, not heard. And it's because whenever we have a tendency to open our mouths, we just tend to embarrass our husbands. And it's no different from the women on the left and the women on the right. So today we're going to react to a couple small stories before we get into the main event, which is a woman who did the Ho to Jesus pipeline and actually said she did a corn scene after she was converted. Can you imagine, like, raw dogging on camera and saying, in the name of God? Like, what the hell? Okay, so a lot of flack that I get on this show is some of the topics that I talk about. I am told that these topics are just in the city. Pearl, you're not talking to real people. Not all women are like that. The women in the country are just so super special and different. And, I hear you guys. I do think that a lot of women in the city are more open about what they can and cannot get away with than maybe in the country. But I'll see TikToks and Instagram reels that just prove that women are women no matter where we go. It's like they find a pastor cheating on his wife, and they're like, well, pastors are pastors. So we got this lady here. Let's see what she has to say.
Very insane small town drama. Okay, perfect, gorgeous. In Whitesburg, Kentucky, a population of like 1,500 people, all right, they're in the center of a scandal because a Kentucky judge named Kevin Mullins last year was shot and killed execution style in his chambers in full view of surveillance footage. There is footage, like you can literally clearly see these people talking, by his very close friend, his best friend, the sheriff, named Sean Steins. After this murder happens, okay, Sean, the former sheriff now, is arrested, charged with first-degree murder. He pleads not guilty, despite the fact that literally on camera, execution style. It comes to light through pouring through this footage and the audio, obviously, of the judge's chambers. Judge was full on extorting women in his chambers to basically do things for him in exchange for lesser sentences or probation or leniency, blah, 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 blah. He would throw these massive Epstein level parties for a small town. And apparently when they're interviewing people, like one of the people works at the jail, all of that, they're like, oh yeah, everyone knows about those parties. Everyone's just a swinger here in Kentucky, in Whitesburg, Kentucky. It's just like, everyone just like knows. Like, you just say no if you don't want to go. What? Not to mention there was
So this small town in the middle of nowhere, women are throwing it back for lighter sentences. It's like, I can't make this stuff up. I can't. How am I supposed to ignore the fact that in small towns they do crazy stuff too? It's just women are women, men are men. Women are always gonna like sleep their way to get away with stuff, and men are usually gonna take it.
Different sheriff in the town who at the time, apparently there was a meeting happening right before this judge, okay, got execution style murdered. They were having like this chambers discussion about a deputy sheriff who was being charged and investigated for having inappropriate, you know what I'm talking about, with a minor. You mean the people who got all C's in high school and couldn't even make it in the military, use their power and position and qualified immunity to victimize people? I am shocked. Well, obviously, the sheriff who murdered the judge is pleading not guilty. We don't know what their defense is. Obviously, we won't know until the trial. But I'm interested to hear, like, obviously, we want to assume, oh, like, maybe that he has, like, a, you know, he's the hero of the day. Getting the bad guy, like, that was in his head. But hard to believe that he wasn't aware of this the entire time he was sheriff. So wild. You want to hear something even more ironic? The county is called Letcher County. Do you know what the word Letcher means? Like, come on. What is...
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. Women exchanging sex to get away with things. So next we have a lawyer explaining why divorce rates of NHL players are 70%. So many women say that they want the tall guy, the athletic guy, the guy that has it all. And on paper, you would think NHL players are really, they're the chads that a lot of women are picking. But even they get divorced. So don't take it personal, fellas. It just, it kind of is what it is. Oh, wait, I got to share this tab instead. Okay. Am I on? Okay.
Room and have the room for a moment, regardless of what sport it is. What advice are you giving these guys?
So I've actually done this. I've had the opportunity to do this. And the one thing I tell people right off the bat, because every professional athlete tends to be pretty excited about their girlfriend, the wag, whatever she may be, or he may be, whatever the case may be. Obviously, there's a lot of female professional athletes as well. You got to know the divorce statistics. And the fact of the matter is the national divorce statistics for regular people, Joe's off the street, is just under 50%. I think it's actually about 47% for first-time marriages. For professional athletes, for a lot of reasons, that number is way higher. It's closer to about 70%. And of that 70%, so you're batting about 50% higher than the general public. 50% of those divorces will come within 1 year of your retirement from your sport. And that is a stunning number. And so, a lot of these athletes have beat the odds to become pros. And a lot of them think that because they've done that, they're going to beat this statistic as well. But as you know, you can't beat statistics, and statistics are independent of one another. And so just because you beat the odds to become a pro athlete doesn't mean you're going to beat the odds of things like bankruptcy and divorce. You've got to recognize those numbers.
That's the false dichotomy that a lot of men make when we talk about these divorce stats. They act like you can avoid it just because you're successful in other areas of your life. And it's just simply not true. It's kind of a cope for men that are kind of scared of their wives. That's what I've noticed. It's men that are still in the good parts of their marriage, like they're still having kids. It's not till after the kids are done that the women really tend to become terrible people. And usually it's like more of a reversion, right? It's usually women reverting back to their hardware programming. Because what happens is women, not all women, but there's good women and bad women. But women, it's like, I remember in school, there was a girl I played volleyball with, and she was so mean to everyone on the court. She was so bitchy and just rude. And then, do you know what would happen? Her boyfriend would come around and I'd be like, that is a different person. So women can put on a mask for other people and take it off when they get what they want. But now you're not even seeing women want to give men the courtesy of the mask anymore. That's the crazy thing. Now they're just being who they are. They're being terrible people in public.
And you've got to plan for them, because otherwise you're in to take a pretty brutal financial hit.
Okay, well, let's talk about why that percentage is so much higher and why it happens inside of that first year. I'm sure you have some ideas on why that is.
I mean, your lifestyle obviously changes quite a bit from the time you were playing to the time you retire. When you're playing, you're a high income earner. You're separated from your family all throughout the season. You may be home for a few days, but then you're off for pretty long periods. And so you don't have a traditional family structure where you're sort of seeing your family every night and then leaving in the morning. That's just not how it is. And then in the off season, it tends to be very sort of perfect, right? Because you're trying to get as much as you can in during that off season. You're going on tremendous vacations. You're doing everything you can with the kids. It's just an amazing opportunity. But that's not real life, and that's not the real life that most people live. Once you retire, you go back to being, for most people, sort of a normal person living a normal life. But that's not the relationship you built while you were.
Yeah, and I think a lot of women think they like the guy until they actually get to know him when he comes home. That's how many divorces. That's why there were so many divorces after COVID. I mean, they think they like the guy, and then they get to know him, and they realize they can't like anybody. I mean, we have a hard time liking each other. Don't take it personal, fellas. It's not you, it's us.
Playing. And so for a lot of people, I think that's a really, really tough transition, whether for the athlete who may be experiencing things like depression from not being able to play anymore and missing their teammates in the locker room and really having to deal with this new lifestyle, to the spouse who now all of a sudden has got you around all the time. And that just wasn't the deal while you were playing. And I think that sort of sets the table for a situation where divorce is really prevalent.
I've always made the joke about these Legends tours that a lot of these retired players go on is more so to be like the wife is going, get out, I'm not used to this, right? Rather than a whole, I miss playing hockey. It's more so to kind of keep that structure intact.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even know if living together is great for couples. I mean, couples just always end up hating each other when we live together. Just always goes bad.
I mean, a lot of these guys, if you've made enough money, don't have to work. And I find that some of them, the plan is just, hey, I'm going to play golf all the time. But that plan crumbles after a while pretty quickly because you don't want to play golf all the time. And you just don't have that outlet and you don't have that passion like you did for the sport that you've played since you were 2 years old. And it's really hard mentally for guys.
Is it to some degree like the woman that you married sees you now post-retirement, all the success, all the accomplishments? That's why she wanted to be with you in the first place, because she wanted the best.
And the clout that came with being that guy's wife. A lot of athletes, they just become regular people when they're done. You know, they're not really high status anymore, a lot of them. I mean, if they're like one of the greats, maybe, but if they're just a normal player.
She got the best, in the words of Kiss. But now that you've retired, it's like, well, that's not the man I married. But you're sitting on the couch, you're golfing, you're not in pursuit of excellence.
It's the different phases of life. You know, for us regular schmoes, that transition comes at age 65 or 70 or 75. But for these athletes, it could be at 30. And all of a sudden, you worked so hard on this one thing to reach the pinnacle, the 1% of 1% of 1% to be a pro athlete. And then it's just.
And it's really hard to quit athletics. I cried for like months when I quit. I cried for months. I was so sad. It's really hard because it's a really big part of your life. Not the second time around because I played overseas, but like, after college, it's not really the same because no one really cares if you win. But like if you win in high school or college, your whole community is really invested.
Over. And the paychecks end. And now you've got to find that next thing at age 30 when you have focused 100% of your efforts to be a pro. That's really hard.
I've had a lot of friends who have played across numerous different sports, and they do have pension plans set up, but a lot of those don't kick in until 55, sometimes 65, and sometimes it's a partial pension, sometimes it's a full pension. When it comes to the litigation of the divorce, separation, whatever it may be, that comes into play too, I'm assuming.
It does. So you can get a divorce decree that says half of the pension eventually will come to that former spouse. So that's all on the table.
All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is a different topic I got a lot of pushback on. I'll just see reels, and I think sometimes I want to share them with you guys. So I got a lot of flack. I had a show a few weeks ago where I talked about the virgins of today aren't the virgins of yesterday. And a lot of people, they would say, Pearl, you said body count matters. Well, it does matter. But I don't see virginity bonding women to men anymore. I just don't. When I was in high school, I think the attractive women did not really feel that sense of bonding. They just left. And the unattractive women, they did feel more of a bonding, but usually they just lost the virginity to Chad and they were cooked too. And I wanted to give evidence for my claim. And this girl was interviewing women on how they lost their virginities. And you guys can tell me if these women seem like they really are attached to those guys. You guys let me know. Let me share this tab instead. I can't figure out on this screen. It will not go full screen. So I'm going to make me smaller. Don't know why.
I lost my virginity in high school on some guy's floor. It was not great. Would not recommend.
Why wasn't it good?
Oh, well, he had a tiny to begin with.
Like how small though?
Oh, really pretty small guy.
Okay. When and how did you lose your virginity?
I don't know. She just didn't seem to care that much. Maybe I'm crazy for noticing this. Here's another one. Okay, show this tab instead.
Did you guys lose your virginity? I was like 16.
Yeah, what about you?
I was 19.
Can't relate. I'm a virgin, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying out here every day. How old do I look?
21, 22.
For being a virgin, you think I'm 21? Okay, what about you?
25, 26.
That's actually a compliment because I'm actually 40.
Really?
Yeah, I turned 40 last week.
You look good for a happy birthday.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you look great.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's difficult out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my 40s. You know, I'm trying to be open out here. I was married for like 5 years. It just didn't work out.
And you're not a virgin.
No, well, we didn't.
That was a different.
Oh God, I couldn't keep the act, bro. I just tried. At what age
Oh, they
did
say
you guys lose your virginity?
a lot of the women, they're starting earlier than they say. So yeah, I mean, and this isn't I'm just talking about the trends. Now, another trend I've talked about on the show is how average women are going to get messaged and DM'd by high-level entertainers and celebrities, and soon the average woman is going to be so gassed up that really you're going to have a certain level of clout to get in the door. And here's another one we're going to show of an average woman talking about the people that have DM'd her.
Had my DM slid into.
Yeah, by some celebrities.
Jason Derulo was in my DM.
Jason Derulo. Who else?
Oh, who was it? I think it was Cameron Dallas.
Cameron Dallas. Yes. And you know who else? The old TikToker, Mark.
Yes.
It's Mark. Yes, pull up a photo of him right now. It's Mark. Remember the really rich guy from Houston's son?
So again, I'd put her facially 5.5, 6. I'd say overall she's a 7 because she's under 25, and pretty much every girl is a 6 or a 7 under 25. Pretty much, like if they're not fat. But now she has access to Jason Derulo, who is in everybody's DMs. That's true.
Yeah.
Fertitta?
Yes.
Yeah, he slid in her DMs.
I've had my DMs slid into.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So next we're going to cover a story. Apparently the T app is causing divorce. It's causing women to divorce their husbands because they find out about the side chick. Or somebody made up a story and ended a marriage. What are the two? One of the two. Okay. So, divorces spike in Dearborn allegedly linked to the T app. So let's watch this.
Every driver in Michigan has to have insurance on their car.
Oh.
It's our job to make the insurance company that they've been.
All right, get out of here. When does this ad end? Hold on, we have to get through it. Give me a second. All right. I think
the popular and controversial T app designed to warn women about the men they're dating is hit with a new backlash. Good evening, everybody. I'm Roop Raj.
And I'm Mimi Lang. This time, the app is being blamed for more divorces in one Metro Detroit community. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin joins us live with more. Tell us all about this, Dave.
Well, this one is all the tea, really. This is a dramatic one. There's a family attorney we spoke with who says he's seeing an increase in divorce filings because of apps like T. Let's go to some video. Going to tell you all about this one here. Now, he says that this area, Dearborn, is a close-knit community where everybody knows everything. And what he says, and we're talking about attorney Muhammad Ali Hamoud, he says there's more domestic conflicts also taking place because of anonymous posts claiming certain men are cheating on their spouses or accusing them of serious crimes or unethical behavior. It's leading to their wives to file for divorce. As you may know, T is an app that allows women only to post anonymously about the men they have dated. You'll hear from the attorney, but also a women's advocate coach, women's empowerment coach, who says apps like T help keep them safe. Take a listen.
For example, when a post were to go live of a certain man, it might be an accountant, it might be a lawyer, it might be a doctor, it tends to spread like wildfire, and the rest of the community just knows. Whether it's true or not is really the main issue. Usually the men.
I was thinking how crazy it is how we're going from like Community is really online now. That's the new trend. Everything is so much more digital. Like, it's kind of weird to think about how, I mean, honestly, I've probably met half of my friends through the internet. And I really think what's happening here is things that have happened in the past are happening now. Women gossiping has always gone on, but now there's evidence of it. Okay.
Asking for me to file some kind of defamation suit, saying a lot of the stuff is false or misleading. And then the women on there seeking guidance, seeking, well, what are their options? Do I file for divorce? My husband has been posted on this app. Other girls say they've been talking to him. He may have been cheating.
It's hard to verify, someone's claims on there. But that being said, I think the way that I've been able to kind of gauge what's true is when you start to see multiple claims from women about the same.
Oh yeah, because multiple women won't lie. Come on.
Person. Like, I ended up on a date, and one of these apps basically saved me from continuing to go out with someone who had multiple reports of raping prostitutes. So that was, a very terrifying thing to say. And it wasn't just one woman coming forward to say this. This was multiple women that were documented on multiple different accounts. So I think that there's just a certain degree of protection that comes when women are allowed to have a safe space.
Well, attorney Muhammad Ali Hamoud says that there are defamation suits that are being filed by his office. He's seeing an increase there, too. But he says those can run you about $10,000. Coming up tonight on The Edge, we'll tell you more about what attorneys say you can do if you find information on sites like that you say isn't true. That's next. For now, reporting live in Dearborn, Dave Kinchin, Fox 2 News.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's getting out of control. Okay, what do we got next? They always say that the women were not like that actually, that's a whole different show. We'll get into the main event, into the main topic today. All right, so as you guys know, our good friend Nala, I asked her to debate me because she said she would live. And for some reason, she just refuses to debate me. So I don't know why, but I saw her on a podcast with this other lady. And this was a female preacher who said that she did a scene. She did a scene after converting. Now, look at it's very similar to Nala, who also squeezed every penny she could out of it as well. All right. So let's watch this. It's something about porn stars and pastors. For all these guys claiming that they don't want to date or they don't. These guys will talk about marrying women of God and then marry porn stars. It's just very confusing. It's like, why? You could marry anybody else, but okay.
For you. So let's dive in. Brittany and Richard, welcome. This podcast.
It is such an honor to be here with you.
Okay, so it's the typical, right? She's a former, what do you guys think she was back in the day? I'd say, I haven't seen her. Maybe you guys know her stuff. Don't Google it. Do not Google her stuff. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But I would put her, she looks like a former 7. And this guy's like a 4, and that's always how it goes. It's a guy that's trading, because he's usually not that attractive, to get the hot girl by trading in like virtue. And like, I won't cheat on you, and I won't leave you. And then you're just going to run this whole marriage. And again, it's the same thing I talk about. These women never look modest, okay? I want to give you an example of a woman that I actually think does look modest. All right, this woman here. When I think of a trad wife, which even all women do embarrass their husbands at some point. So even her, who is such a sweetie. Oh, she's such a sweetie. But even she said some stuff that I think kind of embarrassed her husband too. But look at do you see how she looks? No makeup, no plastic surgery. just like a cute little trad. What that's what I think of. But when I see, this, it's just a little bit different. It's a woman clinging to her youth with everything she's got, which is fine. Some guys are into that, but it just doesn't scream. He screams modest here. She does not.
Truly.
So, Brittany, if we can start from the beginning with your testimony, what led you into the adult film industry?
Really, my life was a series of just broken heart after broken heart, lots of brokenness. I grew up in a verbally abusive household, emotionally abusive. Every day I heard words like, I hate you. I wish I never had you. You're a loser. And it was just a lot of beating down. And I felt very rejected. And so I just started to look for love in all the wrong places. I find a guy, I start dating when I'm about 16. I lose my virginity and he cheats on me with 3 different women. And
So she's already setting the stage, right? She's already setting the stage. She never will say, I did it because I was horny. Never. It can never just be like, look, I wanted to take back shots. I wanted to, I wanted to get dicked out. I mean, it's never that. It's always I was broken. It's always I was broken or some man did something to make me do this. And you guys eat it up. I was just talking to a friend of mine. We were talking about an ex of his. And he said that he made her become a whore because he cheated or something. And I'm like, no. You guys got to stop falling for this. If she came to you, we're the buyers here. I know it's interesting because I guess women are the ones that are the job applicants. Okay. That's kind of a better way to put it. Women are applying for the jobs, and there's a shortage in workers, and women are the applicants. And so, women will apply for some jobs and they'll say, look, you're not qualified, but women keep applying for these super toxic jobs, like the most toxic jobs that, have ever existed. And then women go on podcasts and say that's why they got dicked down. No, honey. You wanted to go to a toxic job and then blame whatever you did after on the toxic job. You wanted to crash out at work at blame the environment, but you're just a crash out Kelly. That's just your thing, That's what you like to do.
Once again, I'm facing the heartbreak and rejection, and I just feel like nobody loves me. Nobody wants to be with me. Everybody hurts me. And my friend suggested that we go to.
There you go. Everybody hurts me. You didn't hurt anybody, really? You did nothing in this.
To Mexico to party because we live so close to the border. So we go out to a nightclub, and it's the first time that I'd ever gotten drunk. And I walk outside and I see another club across the way. And this club happened to be a strip club. I did not know that when I walked over there. I told them they weren't going to let me in. And I said, but I just want to dance.
I got to be honest, guys. I went to a strip club one time in my life. I knew it was a strip. Oh, wait, no, too. I forgot about this other time. But the first time I ever went, okay. The first time I ever went to one, we actually were offered, I don't know why I was offered a job because I do not have that type of body, but it was more for my friend, the girl that was with me, because she had these giant, and it's pretty easy to say no when you don't want to be a stripper. I got to be honest. like we had no interest in doing that. We were really just there to kind of gawk at the strippers, and being honest. I was talking to one because I'm just kind of a nosy person. So I was talking to one. I'm like, what are you doing here? She's shaking her boobs. She's shaking her boobs. She's and I'm like, okay, you don't really got to do all that, but what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, well, I'm saving to go to school to be a teacher. And I'm like, oh God. Yeah. A female preacher is like a male coach leading women's volleyball. Oh no, I preferred the male coaches. The women coaches, they get involved in all the teenage drama. The male coaches get to the point. I preferred male coaches.
That it was a strip club. So they said, "Oh, you want to dance? Well, come on in." And they put me behind these women that were in lingerie. And I'm like, oh, this is one of those clubs. But I had a broken heart and I had liquid courage, which is a horrible combination.
We were drinking too, okay? We were drinking. We were. Do you know what happened? I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell this story. So we went to one strip club, okay? And we only wanted to go. It was like a Tuesday. We just were like, I want to see a strip club, you know? And so we went to the strip club and then they wouldn't let us in. So we went to this other one and it was pretty, I just remember I liked the wings there. I really did like the wings. They were so good. And I just remember there was a strip. I remember my friend was offered a job and the stripper wanted to be a teacher. But, you know, it's just like, that's what I mean. It's always the environment they blame on. Oh, I was drunk. I'm like, okay, I lied. I wasn't offered the job. It was just my friend. It was just my friend. All right. But still, you know, and this friend, to be honest, she wasn't a prude. There's like a scale of how slutty women are. And if I had to divide my friends into more slutty, less slutty, I would have put her on the more side, but she's just not the type to do that. Do you know what I mean? She'll throw it back in private, but she's not about to get on a pole. She's a respectable woman.
That will lead you to do dumb things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 16 years old. I took my top off on stage that day and I have braces. I mean, I look like a little girl, really. And the people that were there in the audience were like, you know, giving me.
Now she's framing it as if, oh, I looked like a little girl. Obviously not if you were offered a stripper job. Like, you obviously didn't.
Money and telling me, we love you, you're beautiful. And so a seed was planted in me that night that if you want to find your place of validation, it's going to be when you take your clothes off and you're going to make money. So fast forward to college, I start dancing.
That's real life, honey. You get more money when you get more naked. Welcome to being a woman. It's time to grow up, lady.
And again. And the opportunity came for me to get into the adult film industry. 2 producers came in one day and they said, you're beautiful. You are destined to be a star. We make romance movies. If you're ever interested, give us a call. And so I ended up, you know, connecting with them the next day. I went to Los Angeles. I signed up with an agency and the rest is history. I was in the industry for a total of 7 years.
And also part of that was it part of the 7 years or was it afterwards that you were trafficked?
It was during those 7 years. The last 3 years that I was in the industry, I was trafficked.
Is the porn industry as glamorous as they portray it to be?
Absolutely not. That was part of the reason I got in because I would see the E! True Hollywood story with porn stars in the world glamorizing it and they're the
Okay. So they're saying the porn industry is not glamorized. And I just don't believe you. Because I have chosen to not take my clothes off on the internet. Now, to be fair, I don't really know if I'd make that much money doing it. I do not have the body that a lot of these women have. So what I'm not trying to do is, who knows? But this Sophia Rain just did a video with David Dobrik here, one of the top YouTubers on the planet.
Look who I'm filming with.
Sophia Rain?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Who's Sophia Rain?
Don't worry about it.
How are you going to explain it to Julia who she is?
I mean, she's like proud Filipino, you know?
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Oh, he knows a lot about her. Are you actually Filipino?
I am, yes.
John, I know you're trying to be casual, but your friend's here.
Oh, hi, I'm John. Nice to meet you. This is the first time in LA.
Yeah, so all these guys, so she's getting to meet all the celebrities.
Almost made more than LeBron last year.
I don't know. That looks pretty glamorous to me. She's treated like a celebrity. Like, it's kind of crazy how they're treating her with all this respect. Nala also, she got to meet all of these celebrities. I think.
Well, just do some PG-13.
So she's on a stream being an OnlyFans girl with Aiden Ross and Ellie.
PG-13. You know how to get started? Yeah, you do.
No, I'm so bad at it.
It's okay.
Teach me how to get started.
I can teach you how to do it. I got you.
I know they about to be like, bro, what are you trying?
I know, Matt, love it. It's okay. We'll get started.
I don't know. It's looks pretty glamorous to me. So they always downplay all the benefits they got, which is meeting like a lot of important people.
Beautiful women that every man wants, and surely they don't suffer with insecurities or
a lot of money that they always blow. So yeah,
validation issues, and everybody wants them. So I thought that's what I want to be. When I got into the industry, I was 18 years old, and it was a very different ball game than what I thought I was entering into. So I saw the glamour on E! True Hollywood Story, but I'm 18, so they saw perfect young girl. Let's dress her up like a child. And this is real talk. It is absolutely disgusting. It's not something.
Can you imagine
that
the porn star telling me what disgusting is? Shut the fuck up, bitch. I don't know. How do you guys go through life and not want to
proud of? They would put me in pigtails and schoolgirl outfits and pair me with old men, giving the illusion of pedophilia. Now, I, at that time, was not a woman of...
I just doubt it. I'd have to see the video, and I don't really want to see that.
Conviction. I didn't know God. I was just trying to do whatever I could for freedom in life because I had a very controlling family. But that one thing I developed a conviction over. And I told my agent, I cannot do these scenes with these pigtails and schoolgirl uniforms. I said, do you know that this type of work is encouraging grown men to go out and molest children? I said, I don't want any part to do with this. And so I put my foot down and I stopped doing those types of scenes. But you think even the women that had the big hair and the makeup, there's nothing glamorous about pornography. Just read the titles. I'm not going to list them here because they're highly inappropriate, but there's nothing glamorous or empowering. Just read the titles. Like, enough said on that.
What role of drugs played in your life when you were in that industry?
Drugs?
Now it's the drugs. Why can't it just be, hey, I was horny as hell. I was young. Do you know who I prefer? I really prefer this whore. I have a #1 draft pick for whores right now. I'm talking about Hugh. There's some TikTok. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's this part. Let's see.
18 years old.
That is the fact that you were 18. It feels
my favorite ex-ho.
Like you were 21.
I know.
Like
because she said this sentence. Okay, here
you look back on it. To me,
we used to watch the show, right? That was like one of the.
We didn't. Such a good show. I also watched Kendra on Top though too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I watched all of them.
But yeah, you're right. You wouldn't think like, oh, those people are only 18 at the time.
Well, I was.
No, I know, but I'm just
not
saying
the other two.
Yeah,
she was the youngest.
How old are the other ones?
Like in like 20s, in the 20s.
If you were to knowing everything you know after everything you've been through, and you were to tell your 18-year-old self something, what would you tell her?
You know what? You're doing the right thing. You're on the right track. You're doing the right thing. And even my closest like friends that are like godly or like people that go to church or like my very, very amazing real estate partner. Like they know I struggle with some shame and regret a little bit in life, but I'm like, what else was I supposed to do? I was 18. I was about to get knocked up by this like 20-something-year-old, this guy. And it was a choice I had to make. Was I going to, be a stripper in San Diego and get knocked up by this guy, or take this one-way ticket to LA and move into the Playboy Mansion. And come on,
Meaning, like at the time in San Diego, your circumstances were that you would have made that decision.
those
in
were
order
the
to get
only
by.
two choices I had in my life.
Oh my God, she just lost points. There's a point in this interview, and I just thought of it as we were watching, where she says, like, she basically takes accountability and says, yeah, I knew what I was doing.
At that moment, I didn't have college. I had none of that. I had friends, and being all crazy and stuff like that. So when I turned 18 and I moved out, like I had this option.
Whatever. She just lost points. There was a part in the interview where she did not say it was coercion or some bullshit and just said, hey, I knew I had to sleep with him. We did it once a week. It was kind of gross, but whatever.
Were my escape. Drugs gave me a false sense of happiness. I started using drugs about a month in the industry because, I had anorexia in high school. And so I was already struggling with body dysmorphic disorder. And a director told me, you are so fat. You're disgusting. You need to lose weight. And I was not fat. I was 105 pounds, 5 feet, 1 inch. I wasn't fat. And so from there, I just thought, okay, I need to lose weight fast. So I start talking to a model that I was living with in the model house, and she offered me cocaine, and I instantly got hooked, and I started using drugs every single day. It went from cocaine to prescription pills to eventually heroin, and then eventually crystal meth. So I was on drugs pretty much my entire 7 years of the industry.
Do a lot of the adult film actresses and actors consume drugs or take drugs to survive in that?
It's so sad, Pastor Vlad. I lost last year several friends to overdoses, especially right now with fentanyl being put in the drugs. Like, I lost several friends due to fentanyl overdoses, and it was unintentional, but they were using drugs. Just the porn industry, it kills your soul. The wages of sin is death, and you start to feel
okay. I'd believe this if they didn't look so happy doing it. Like, look at this. Okay. Where is it?
In your previous appearance
I
on
don't know. This bitch doesn't look broken to me.
the show,
Yeah.
you claimed that you had a thing for cheating.
Yeah, I knew that was going to get brought up.
Is that still the case?
Like I said, it was a fantasy. It is a fantasy. You know what I mean? Like, it's the compromise that you.
That's how they all are smiling. They look pretty happy. And then they'll be like, oh, we were just pretending. I'm like, I don't know. You looked like you were having a lot of fun.
so depleted, so anxious, so suicidal that you just have to use drugs to feel this
Yeah, at 18, she could have married a Christian simp, but she got
sense of
to do it at 29. So why not, And hold out and make sure that she doesn't get pumped and dumped after the sex because she got the state involved to put a gun to his head. That's a way better deal.
happiness, but we know that Jesus is the source of our joy, and he's the one that can offer that for us.
At what point did you know, or you started to feel like you made a mistake? This is not a right choice for you. You're trapped.
Yeah, I knew that I made a mistake after being in the industry for just a year.
Just a year.
And I was struggling with this thing called pride, and pride will always keep you stuck in a season of life that you don't even want to be in, all because you're too afraid to admit that you need help. And I thought, how could I tell my family that I've made a mistake? I told everybody proudly, boastfully that this is my career. It's my life. I get to make my decisions. And I made a horrible decision. But
here, let me help you. Because apparently at 45 with children, you still can't. Okay, this is how I'm going to give you a lesson. This is how to apologize and how to take accountability for your actions. So that man coerced me. No, not that. Not that. All right, let's try again. I was so broken, and then God just said, no, not that, not that. I'm converting today. Let me get baptized today. No, not that either. Not that either. Okay. If I was her, I would say, hey, I did corn because I was a selfish person and I didn't care about embarrassing my family. And I was having a lot of fun doing it. I did it because I was selfish. And now that I'm facing consequences, I really regret it. And I'm sorry for embarrassing you. And then they say, well, why did you do it? I was horny and I wanted easy money. And then do you know what you would do? Oh, you would go to the back of the church and act sorry. And like act sorry. Don't start preaching. Don't start consoling OnlyFans and making a Jesus brand. Just well, yeah, you think a porn star is sorry for anything? Come on. Then stop being a whore. I'll give her, at least let's look at her Instagram. What is this lady's name? Let's see. What is this woman's Instagram? Okay. Let's see. Well, at least there's no thirst traps on here. All right, I'll play the video again.
Because of also my influences and the people that were around me, it also made it harder to leave.
Okay, see that right there? That makes me think you're not sorry because you're saying it was the people around me. No. You're a young, pretty girl. I chose people that didn't do, I was around a lot of porn stars when I did my show. And I just thought, I don't really want to do that. I'm good.
You mentioned a little bit alluded to the being trafficked. Can you explain a bit, what was that like?
So after about 3.5 years in the industry, I was withdrawing from heroin and I quit the business. I detoxed at my grandma's house, went to church, received Jesus as my Lord and Savior. The devil was not happy about that decision, and men were still my weakness because that's where I found my validation and was in men. And so he sent a pimp into my life, and we started dating, which is very common in trafficking. They don't just come to you and say, I'm a pimp and I'm gonna sell you and take all your money. Like, it's not like that. It's like, I love you, you're beautiful, we should be together. And then once they have your heart, then it's, hey, we need to make some money. Yeah, I got an idea. And he knew.
You guys pick pimps. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you take an L, you got to take some accountability. The same way that when men take an L with an Instagram thought, or like when your husband takes an L when you cheat on him someday, I won't really feel too bad because I'm like, well, what did you think was going to happen? I mean, you picked a pimp to date. What did you think was going to happen?
I was in the.
Now she's going to blame him. That's why I don't believe these hoes are sorry. Because if you were sorry, you would take accountability. You wouldn't still be blaming everybody else.
Porn industry. He knew what he was doing. And so it was a lot of manipulation through love. Like, they prey on the vulnerability and weakness of women who, especially when you're not raised in a solid home that teaches you strength and confidence, like, you'll settle for anything. And that was me. I was in a place where I hated myself so much that I settled for whatever came my way.
So So you're pretty much detoxing from heroin. Your grandfather and your grandma, they bring you to Christ. But because you were still not stable in your walk with the Lord, the enemy took advantage of that.
Absolutely.
And pretty much brought you back in. Now, if you forward into, you're flying to Las Vegas and for some reason you're reading the Bible. Was that your habit? Was that your habit reading the Bible when you were in that lifestyle, when you were being trafficked and you come upon a verse in Book of Revelation?
Yeah.
What happened next?
So the pimp was a backslidden Christian, and I had been given, right? God will use anyone, okay?
Wow.
He actually.
I'm actually madder at the men on this podcast. What a sad excuse for men. You guys don't have any questions? You don't want to ask her one hard question, not one?
Took me to a church and I got baptized, and you know,
Wow.
it was an apostolic church, so I received the gift of the Holy Spirit and praying in tongues there. But I was given a Bible when I went to church with my grandfather and his wife. So I would start reading that Bible, and then the pimp would encourage me to, you know, you
Read the
need to
Bible?
make sure you're reading the Bible, because one night I told him I think I'm possessed by the devil, and it freaked him out. And so he's like, we're going to take you to church, you're going to get baptized, and you need to read the Bible. So I started reading the Bible, and when I would seek understanding of scripture, he would twist it, you know, Jesus loves prostitutes and it's totally fine of what you're doing. You know, he actually revealed himself first to a prostitute, and just really twisting the scripture. And I
So that you
believed
can
it.
stay in that lifestyle.
Exactly. So
you wanted to believe it. Okay, how old is this broad? I think the internet was around. I mean, or at least common sense.
But for a second, what made you think you were possessed?
we were watching Passion of the Christ.
Okay.
And I just, I don't know. I just said, hey, I think I'm possessed by the devil. There were other things that were happening too. I was having seizures. I would go and get EKGs done, or is it EEG? One's for brain, one's for heart. They would test both, but there was nothing that ever showed up in my brain scans. They were having me take a medication called Keppra, but it didn't even work. There was nothing that showed up. And so, I mean, that was one sign that I didn't actually attribute to, but I have a crazy experience where I was staying at a friend's house, and I don't remember any of this. This is an embarrassing story, but I kicked open her bathroom door and I peed on her rug, and I started like shaking and convulsing. Next thing I know, I woke up and then paramedics were all around me. But I do not have any recollection of doing that. So
There's a
there
lot
were
of crazy stuff happening.
Oh yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Superficially or on a surface level, you're going to this church, you're believing in God, you're even reading the scriptures. Your boyfriend / pimp is actually twisting the scripture to keep you.
I might have to message this guy, Vlad. I have a problem with you, Vlad. Okay. I'm going to message him.
In that.
I'm going to message him. I'm going to message him and see if he wants to have a conversation about this. It's time to have my nagging womenness. What should my opener be, guys? I'm thinking giving. Wait, let me put. Giving porn stars softball interviews deters people from God. You would not give a softball interview to a former pedo, but the church worships women, not God. I just reacted to your interview. Let me know if you want to stream. We'll see if he comes on.
You're on the way to Las Vegas and you're reading the Bible.
Yes. So the Holy Spirit told me, I had already left the pimp at this point.
Oh, okay.
The Holy Spirit told me to leave him. So I left him. I'm living with my mom for about a week at this point. And I said, Mom, I have no money. I need to go shoot. Can you drop me off at the airport? And she's like, yeah, I'll take you. And so the Holy Spirit said, bring your Bible. So I grab my Bible and I'm on the airplane and I start reading Revelation because it was the one book that I literally made no sense to me. And I'm like, I'm going to try to understand this today. So I'm reading through it and I get to chapter 2, verse 20 through 23. And I'm paraphrasing, but it says, I have this thing against you. You tolerate this woman named Jezebel who leads my people into sexual immorality.
So this is what the Christian women do. They use the Bible verses conveniently. They skip all of the Bible verses they don't like or are not convenient. That's why, do you know what? I've always said, I think my true belief is in the Catholic Church. I am a Catholic. But I really don't like to make it part of my brand because I don't think I'm a good enough representative. I really don't. There's men far greater than me. I don't want to debate the topic. I don't want to go into it. Catholicism makes the most sense to me, but I'm really not the most religious person in the world. I don't think I'm the best person to represent that. But it's like the corn stars just never have that moment of clarity ever. So I just can't but they always pick the verses that are convenient and never the ones that are inconvenient.
I have given her time to repent. And if she doesn't repent, I will cast her, all who commit immorality, and her children into a sickbed with her. And when I read that, it was like the lights came on and I started crying on the airplane. And in my heart, I just started saying, wow, God, I am so sorry. I had no idea.
My opinion is the people that say they heard God talk are actually just crazy.
That this is what I've been doing. I am that woman named Jezebel. I have been leading your people into sexual sin. I had no idea. Please forgive me. Not only that, God, but I hate the life I've created for myself. I hate myself, and I've been hurting your heart. Lord, please, please forgive me. Please save me. And I'm saying this in my heart while weeping. And I felt the Holy Spirit just say, Brittany, I love you so much. This is not the life that I have for you. The life that I have for you will overflow with so much love and peace and joy. And if you would just quit the porn industry today, I would bless your life like no man ever could.
You're just crazy. God was not talking to you. I don't believe that for a second.
Remember one time him asking to give away my last $20 at church to a woman who came to me and asked for prayer because her and her kids were struggling. And I'm praying for her and I'm like hearing the voice, oh, okay, you want me to give away my last? I literally don't have gas, but okay, I said, you know what?
I just, when you do a nice thing and then you talk about it on a podcast, it just kind of takes away from it. That's what I love about my dad. That's why I always say my dad's not that religious of a person. But the way he acts, he might as well be God walking. I know you might think I'm over exaggerating. I'm really not. I know that's it sounds really idealistic, but I don't know. He's just, I will constantly hear about nice things he did, after he did it, he didn't tell anybody about it.
You can go to the 99-cent store and get 20 groceries, go bless your children, and here I am okay, God. And that day
but that's what I mean. When I got to know religious pastors, most of them just want to make money doing nothing. They're lazy. That's what it is. They're just lazy. They want an easy job where it's these high earning, I don't know, I'll meet different guys and they act way more moral. But I'm I think it's just that pastors want to talk for a living.
Bless me. Someone came up to me and said, here's $80.
Hypocritical, I know. I talk for a living.
God told me to give it to you. So I'm I just got 4 times the amount of money because it was hard leaving porn. I had nothing.
So, I mean, how hard was it? So you get this revelation, you encounter the presence of God, you hear the Holy Spirit say, Brittany, you need to leave this industry. So you land in Las Vegas. I mean, you're there to do a shoot.
Yeah.
How does it go?
Well, so he said, quit the industry that day. My faith was still growing. So I did do the scene because I didn't want to cancel on them and have everything be.
She converted and did a corn scene? You've got to be kidding me. Oh my God, what pathetic excuse for men. None of you had a question about that?
Ruined for them. I was trying to I guess, be honorable in a way and also get my last paycheck. But when I went to set that day, I told everybody, hey, I want you guys to know that God loves us. And this is not the life that he has for us. I said, he has a life that is so.
Okay, so she got banged on camera and said sorry later. I'm so done. I'm so done.
Blessed, but all of us need to quit porn today. I started telling all of them that. And they were like, the director looked at me like, are you going to do the scene or not? And I said, but you will never see me again.
Wow.
And I did the scene, and I kid you not, though, Pastor Vlad, it was the most awkward scene I'd ever done. I felt so, I didn't even know how to, I didn't have a word for the feeling, but it was conviction. I just was feeling so awful while doing it, disgusting. Like, what am I doing here? I don't belong here. It felt so unnatural to me. I just felt like it was the worst feeling of any scene I'd ever done.
And after that, I mean, that was your source of income for a long time.
Yeah.
How was your journey now in growing in Christ? You started to go to church, you started to pray, you started to fast.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I mean, the Lord had to do a lot of breaking.
Oh,
and
yeah.
peeling a lot of layers.
Did you return the money? Did you? Okay, hold on. Who could I call to ask? Actually, let's get Doug MPA on here. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys want Doug MPA on. Doug. I'm going to put it in the group chat. Because I need to bounce off of somebody right now. I just need to bounce. It's just... yeah, we got to... All right, we're going to get him up.
There's of lies and strongholds and those demons.
Yeah. So after that scene, I ended up going to Cornerstone Church of San Diego. And that was the first time where I felt this thick, and I referred to it as, I have goosebumps all over my body. It feels so good. What is this? And one of the church leaders started laughing in a loving way and said, that's the presence of God. And I said, whoa, I want this. I want this every single day. So I was like, okay, I went home. What do they do at church? Okay, they worship. The pastor prays, and then he does his sermon. So I'm going to worship, I'm going to pray, and then I'm going to read my Bible. And so I started doing those 3 things every single day. And right around the time I entered the church, there was a corporate fast. So I said, I'm going to try it. I have no idea what it is, but let's just do it. And the first time I didn't see a whole lot, and I broke the fast a few times. I was like, I'm going to try again in the month of February. Let's just do this. And so I just started making it a part of my regular routine, because then I started listening, what is fasting? So I started listening to different sermons to grow in that, and God started breaking things off. The reality is the Bible does teach that some things don't break off but through prayer and fasting, and my faith needed to develop in that time of fasting.
Bruh. Do you know I'm actually good? I was DMing her today. If you are free now, you should hop on to this reaction. Tay, I like her. Doug MP, did you not get it? The link? You said you needed it in the chat. I put it twice in the group chat on Signal.
So that I could believe that Jesus is who he says he is, that he still performs miracles, that he still breaks chains, and that he could heal me from everything that was going on in my mind and my heart. And the Holy Spirit would lead me through the most beautiful moments of healing, where he would, one time, hey, I needed to.
All right, here we go. Doug, how do you not go crazy? Because you're what, 45? You've told me before, I should know.
Yeah, I'm in my mid-40s, 44.
How, your whole life, you've just had to listen to women just say stuff like this. And the men, do you know what's worse? Because women, we're just naturally crazy. We just naturally say stupid things. So I do blame us. That's our not even programming. That's just how most women are. But the worst is these simps. They assist the women. Do you know what I mean? It's like somebody, it's like a toddler walking around, and the simps, the parents are like, here's an atomic weapon. Here's a bomb. And you're like, hey, what are you doing giving that bomb to a child? That's not responsible. And they're like, yeah, but they don't know what they're doing. And you're like, yeah, exactly. Take away the bomb.
Yeah, it's like how they treat a kid with Down syndrome or a kid with like severe autism. Like everything they do is good, even the crazy stuff. That, that's modern women right there. And it's like you still see videos where a woman is blatantly hitting a man, and then he hits her, and then all of a sudden all the guys jump in. And it's just like she was blatantly hitting the guy, but it's to the point, but it's kind of scripted at this point, and now we have social media that shows that this is going on, because this has always happened, Pearly Pearl, always. Now we're starting to see it on social media. We're starting to see the double standard on social media, so it's getting a little better. But yeah, simps are going to simp and enforce this horrible behavior. The sad part about it is women know that they can get away with it. It's like you're a woman, so you didn't have maybe you and your sisters did do this, but when you're a boy and you have a sister, your sister can hit you, and then you hit her once, and your parents are like, what'd you hit her for?
That's so true. My
Yeah.
little brother almost went crazy because of that. Him and my sister would fight, and that's exactly what would happen.
Yep,
Oh,
you got it.
It was probably the same with me, but we stopped fighting. I remember we stopped fighting when I was like 10 or something. I just remember we looked at each other. We were like, we should stop, and then we did.
My last time that my brother and I fought, I think we were 23, and we ended up tearing up our entire living room. We broke our coffee table, broke one of the couches, and then we just like looked at each other and just stopped. And we've never gotten a fight, but we tore up our entire living room. And I don't even remember what we were fighting about. And after that, we decided to never fight again.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, because it was the day I realized my little brother was smarter than me. Yeah, because I never wanted to. Because Adam, he's just always been a natural CEO. So he's just boss. He's been bossy since he was a child. And you don't want to be bossed around by your little brother. You're like, I was there when you were born. But then I just remember there was a certain age where I was just like, I should just start listening to him because he's actually smarter than me. And then after that, as soon as I accepted that, like as soon as I submitted in a way, we got along. And I told my other sister had a similar problem because she didn't want to listen to him either. And I remember I told her, I'm like, look, Adam is very smart. You should just listen. I know it's annoying having someone boss you around, but Corey, thank you for the $5 super chat and the super sticker I saw earlier. Oh, I think I accidentally removed Doug. Sorry, Doug.
So what do you even call what this woman? Because we all know what gaslighting is, right? But this isn't gaslighting. Like this is well, first off, this is the female-friendly version of the story. And what is the female-friendly version of the story, Pearly?
That she was broken and not horny. They always leave out the horny part. They always why can't I just don't understand, like, why do they act like they didn't enjoy the porn? You enjoyed do you know what I mean? There's some wild sex that is fun. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why are we pretending that you didn't like it? It doesn't mean you're a bad person per se, I guess. Whatever. But I would respect it a lot more if she just said, look, I did it because I was selfish and the sex was fun on camera.
And the money.
Oh, yeah, the money too.
Because that's the one thing that you left out at the beginning of the show. A lot of these women, they want the money. It's like when Lana Rhoades talks about I think she's, I've seen clips of her talking about almost every single degenerate thing that she's done in Korn, and she does some crazy stuff, but she got a fat paycheck at the end. Because a lot of these women would rather do that than sit in front of a desk at an office for 40 hours a week.
Well, and all these women are meeting all these huge celebrities. I mean, I think that's actually more important to the women than really, I don't even think it's the money, Doug. I think it's that, Nala got to bang NLE Choppa. That wouldn't be my first pick, but hey, that maybe she's into that guy. She could have hooked up with Hayden Ross. The other girl, like, they get to meet all of these high level men, that you would never get to meet if you're at an office job. One, you wouldn't have the time. And the other thing is, like, when would you run into them? But if they see your film, I mean, they'll DM you asking to hook up or whatever.
So why didn't Nala end up with any of these high-powered guys while she was still in the industry?
Well, I mean, obviously she wasn't. It's the burden of performance. She failed. And so, because there are porn stars that do land high-level men. I mean, like Lana Rhoades, I mean, he might not be your cup of tea, but she did date Logan Paul's best friend for a while, and that's pretty good for a porn star, and there's a lot of there are porn stars that do it, but she failed, her burden of performance.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. 100%.
And so then she failed. She went to an easier market. And that's the church. That's you, church fellas.
The last stop on the whore train.
Yeah,
guys,
I mean, you guys are the easiest market ever. It's like all I got to do is put on a flower dress.
This is another example where what's this girl's name again?
I don't even know her name. I just call her the corn star.
Because I wanted to look up her net worth.
Brittany De La Mora.
How much is Brittany De La Mora worth? 1 second. Okay, well, she didn't. She must not have been at the top because she's only worth like 1 million.
I mean, that's a lot more than most people, but I don't think they make.
True.
I don't think they make that much money, to be honest, Doug.
I think it's because she was in the porn industry and wasn't on OnlyFans. Because the craziest part about OnlyFans, Pearly, is that it shows how much money porn stars lost over the years because they get paid by the scene, but the production company gets all the rest of the money. And you can see that with OF models. So I wonder how many other models or how many porn star models could have made money like a Bonnie Blue or these other OF models who get most of their money, but they were doing it scene by scene at porn companies instead.
Yeah, I don't know.
It says
I'm sending this to a few people. We'll see if any of them come on. All right, let's play some more of this interview.
Just real fast. So Brittany De La Mora, what contributes to her income? Speaking engagements. She may be paid for appearances at religious events, conferences, and workshops. Ministry income. As a leader of her ministry, she likely draws on income from donations, ministry activities, book sales. She's written books which would generate royalty income. And social media influence. She has a large following on platforms like Instagram and YouTube, which can be monetized through brand partnership and ad revenue. That's where she gets all of her income from. You want to read the super chat?
Pearl, I came across your channel a while back, but I'm asking, why should a female youngster listen to you instead of a female who has only ever dated her husband and been with him for 60 to 70 years? Pearl, just honest. Well, they don't listen to me.
That's true. That's very true.
They're not here, so don't. They're not listening to the 60 to 70 year married either.
Yeah, and what percentage of your audience does Fiery both think are women? It's
like
not a lot.
10%. Yeah, they're not here. And by the way, I would probably, to be honest, half of the married women are crazy, even the ones that have been married 60 to 70 years. So for the doc, thank you for the super chat. But they're definitely not here. So don't worry. Do not worry. Don't worry at all.
Just real fast. So Richard De La Mora is a husband, father, pastor, evangelist, and author. His deep love of Jesus and passion for people led him to San Diego, California in 2012, where he began working in full-time ministry. He married his wife former corn star Brittany De La Mora in 2016. She married a pastor. She did your stereotypical where she rode all over the place and found herself a nice little church pastor.
Classic. Okay.
Pray for my mother. And I'm like, I can't pray for her, you know? Holy Spirit's like, you need to pray for her. And I just started praying, like, oh, I pray that you would bless her. And it's like, no, pray more deeply. And I started praying more deeply.
These women are just hearing voices. I don't believe they're talking to God. They're talking to themselves. Like, come on.
For her, and I felt the mercy of God fall over me, and it gave me the strength to forgive her. And then there were moments of going in the mirror and speaking life to the 12-year-old in me that was broken, reminding her that you may be in pain right now, you may be hurting right now, but I want to tell you that when you turn 25 years old, you are going to meet Jesus, and he is going to transform your life. And it was just healing. Like
God's
use you to actually rescue other people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit, a few stories of how the Lord kind of sent you back into that field, but this time differently to tell others about the
I
Lord?
think a lot of pastors are just failed men, kind of like podcasters are a lot of failed people, that they just can't do other things. She talks about God like it's a gangbang story. Okay, let me get to the part where they met, because now she's going to talk
Yeah,
about how she's
'cause
ministering.
would you say that he won? Because that's her husband. He
No.
is not attractive in the least, like not even close.
No, he didn't win because those pastors, even though they're ugly, they still no, the church women, if you can talk with a microphone, it's like you gotta, Doug, you gotta start getting the camera on so these women can start sliding in your DMs on here. Women love
Maybe
it.
one day. Maybe one day.
Richard,
yes.
How did you first met Brittany, and did you ever imagine
For
she
the two women watching the show.
would be a future wife?
Absolutely not. And, I definitely would not think that she'd be my future wife, especially with her being in the industry. But her and I met actually at our young adult service.
And you were the pastor.
I was the pastor. I was the one preaching, doing our young adult service. And I remember one day she came to our relationship service. And there was a moment in the message when I just told the ladies, I want to tell you something. If your man is not treating you like a woman of God, you need to tell him to either step up or
Okay, but this is the simp mindset.
There it is, right there. Yep.
It's the simp mindset. It's ladies, your man's not treating you right, and subconsciously they're like, I would treat you better. Stop whoring for him, whore for me. Jesus.
step out, show him the exit sign because you are worthy of real true love. And when I said that, something resonated in Brittany. And I did an altar call that day. She came up to the altar, and basically it was talking about relationships and taking guys out of your life. And she goes and makes the altar. The next day, I'm at Starbucks, and I haven't met Brittany. I seen her in there, and she comes to me and she goes, "Hey, Richard, I just want to say thank you for yesterday's message." And I said, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "How did it bless you?" She's like, "Honestly, it blessed me so much. I ended up breaking up with the guy that I was seeing." And then
This was after the pimp because I was a serial dater.
Yeah.
Started dating somebody very quickly.
Oh yeah, a
And then
serial
the lady
dater
that
is
she
what
was
she calls
with
it.
said the same thing, and she's like, "You know, we kind of got a nickname for you. You know how Will Smith is called Mr. Hitch? Well, we call you Mr. Ditch because you're the pastor that breaks up relationships." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Is that a shit, Rich? It's a good thing he wasn't treating me like a woman of God."
There it
And
is.
from there, I would see this woman every
And
week.
then now, of course, you're in there to swoop in. And it's like, how good does a porn star really deserve to be treated? Do you know what I mean? Like, what you're gonna wine and dine a porn star? Do you know what I mean? Like, she should be treated like a porn star. You know?
She gets to sit up in front of people and preach God's word. Insane.
So cooked.
Pastor Vlad every Friday at our young adult
I
service.
think as women are just able to talk and have everybody listen in a room, we don't understand how much of a privilege that is.
Yep.
Men have to earn it.
Yep.
Yeah. So when
And
women get speaking positions, they don't realize that this is like a privilege.
yeah, well, just think about regular life, how much men let pretty women talk. Did we talk about that earlier today? Like pretty women could just guys will let pretty women say anything and everything. And just yeah, sure, yeah, I want to have sex with you. Sure.
Yeah.
Service.
Okay.
Not only that, I would see her on Wednesdays. She would do the greeting. I would see her on Sundays. And never would I think that her and I would eventually get together and build a relationship. But that was really the first day and first time I really had a conversation with Brittany.
So when you started that relationship, how did you navigate the emotions, the challenges of knowing her past?
Honestly, it wasn't easy at all. I remember the first time I heard about her past was a Wednesday. And you didn't
know who she was.
I didn't know anything about her past. Literally, I didn't.
Yeah,
She didn't share
right.
her testimony. She didn't
You know,
tell
he
anybody.
watched some of her stuff. Come
But-
on.
Living in
Yeah,
secrecy.
she
'cause I
was.
Oh, he was Googling. He come on. He was probably a fan.
was ashamed.
Pearl,
Absolutely.
I wanted to say this real fast. Remember our criteria of how a whore can be in the church and actually prove that they're not a whore anymore? So she's been married to this guy since 2016. And they have how many kids? How many kids? I know they have at least one. Let me see. How many kids? 1 second. They have 2 children and they've been married for almost 10 years. So with that guy, so does she meet the criteria?
No. I need her to be more sorry. I need some accountability with that. I need some actual accountability. This story just does not work for me. No.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like if she was actually like if there was some humility in her voice and any ownership of the action, I may say yes. But like you shouldn't want to be in the spotlight anymore. It's embarrassing. Like what do you want to like you realize that the top comment on this video is every single man watching this, I'm convinced, will be tempted to open a tab and do some research on Brittany. I have made and declared my decision to the enemy to not do so, and making a decision is a powerful in the spiritual realm. I will honor and celebrate the sister and wonderful work of redemption in Christ. I'm like, you realize you're tempting men by going around talking about this stuff. I mean, men, you say I did corn. They want to see it if they think you're hot. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I have a friend, right? And she looked in her boyfriend's phone to see if he was cheating.
Yeah.
And this was one of my childhood friends. So she oh my gosh, she's kind of crazy. But do you know what she found? Something worse. Her nudes in a group chat.
Oh no.
Yeah. She's like, I wish he was cheating.
Dang.
And I guess the guys all put there. I'm like, yeah, I would. I think God.
I've never had a group chat where I share. Well, I don't have any group chats to tell you the truth. And then I would never share pictures of any of the women I was with my guy friends, especially the current woman I'm with. Why would you do that? It's gross.
Yeah, I never took any. So I'm like, this is not going to be used against me. Because I always felt like I'd be a YouTuber or something. I don't know. I always just thought I would do something like this. I was like, not today, Satan.
And I remember one Wednesday, I saw Brittany, and Brittany was serving. She was doing the greeting, and I said hi to her. And then someone came to me and goes, "Do you know what she got saved from?" And I said, "Yes, a very bad relationship." He's like, "No, she was in the porn industry." And I was like, "She was in the porn industry?" And I was like, "Wow,
Acting like
that's
he didn't
incredible."
know.
He's like,
Get
"What do you
outta
mean?"
here.
Look at God's grace. Look at God moving in her life. I love seeing testimonies like this. And then the thought occurred to me, how did you know that she was in the adult? Like, come on, man. Like, this is church here. But that was like the first time, like, I really encountered her
Okay.
past. And then from there, you know, her and
you were already dating her.
no, I
Oh,
wasn't.
oh, so this is somebody who was just letting
So
you
here-
know about
No,
her.
so I was actually dating somebody in 2012, and we ended up breaking up that year. And
In
then
2013.
in 2013, and then she vowed to take 1 year off of dating
Okay.
because, you know, her weakness was men.
Yeah.
So the Lord put it on her heart to take a year off. And at that time, I wasn't dating anybody at all. But in
She needed more than a year off. She needed a lifetime off. Like you had enough. Like I just think at some point, ladies, if you did corn and you want to come back in the church, I don't even know if I want her to be married. Like, do we really want one of the guys to suffer? I think it'd be better if they just die alone and pray.
you know, because she got involved in our ministry, her and I kind of built a friendship, and you know, her and I became friends to basically just best friends. And I'll never forget this, you know, moments like the end of 2013, 2014. She's about to get out, and I'm thinking, man, what would it look like to be with someone like her? But then I would get plagued with all these thoughts. Like, I don't know, my mom or my dad, you know, would want me to be with someone like her. Like, how awkward is that conversation? Like, mom, dad, I just want to tell you that I met this girl. She's incredible and she used to be a porn star, but it's all good because Jesus saved her. You know, it's like it's a hard conversation to say. And, you know, Pastor Vlad, I'll never forget this day. I said, God, if this is the woman that you have called me to be with, open the door and make it happen. I said that prayer. 2 weeks later, my mom and dad called me and say, Rich, we're going to go down to San Diego to hang out for the weekend. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But little did I know, the pastor, who's my uncle, told Brittany to share her testimony that Sunday. So here I was. All right.
Yeah. And then you get the simp dads and the modern mothers and the modern mothers. Do you see what I mean, guys? They're like, where are the married women talking like this? I'm like, yeah. How many of you had, Doug, how was your mom was married for a long time. Should she be given advice?
No.
No. It's, yeah, you know what I mean?
Not even close.
It's like, who raised these broads? Like, come on.
If I want to get
100%.
the approval, it's going to be through this Sunday. So my uncle puts my mom and dad right in the front row. And here she is. I was in the adult film industry for 7 years. I had a pimp. I was an escort. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Lord, help me. And I'm like, okay, God, it is what it is. She put it all out there. After service, I go in the lobby looking for my mom and my dad. And I'm like, Mom, Dad, what do you think of her? Like, how'd you like the service today? And my mom goes to me, Richard, I absolutely love her. Look at this woman. Like, she was a broken woman, and now God transformed her and changed her life. And I was like, so you like her? And he's like, I love her. I just don't.
Oh, his mom was an ex-ho too.
That's the only explanation.
Yeah.
Only explanation.
If it was my son, I would just, if it was my son, my brother, I'd say, look, I'm very happy for her, but not all hoes need to be saved. They got to save themselves. Eye on the prize.
Like her. And I'm like, oh, well, I just want to tell you that her and I were talking. She's like, are you serious? This is awesome. And my dad approved of that well. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. And that's what I really knew too. Prayer works, you guys, because the Lord answered my prayer that day.
But even though you did have the approval of the parent, you still had struggles.
Absolutely.
You still struggled with that. And can you speak a little bit about how did you overcame that? And could you speak about the retroactive jealousy?
Yeah, absolutely. So one day, her and I were hanging out. It was a Friday night. It was more or less a Christian gathering with all our friends from church. And then afterwards, I was walking her back to the car, and I started getting flooded with all of these thoughts. I just felt like the enemy was coming at me and was telling me, yeah, she was in the industry for 7 years, but you don't know how many movies she's done. And you don't know what else she's done. I mean, come on. She's been in the industry for that long. So what else did she really do? So at that moment, I'm walking back and I start questioning her, and I start asking.
Then what they do is they compare the female sin to the male sin. And they pretend that watching porn is the same thing as getting like gang banged on camera. It's not. It's definitely not. And then what they also do is gaslight the men into accepting these hoes. And they say, "Oh, you're wrong if you feel some type of way about all the BS she did before she met you." So,
And they're like, "So, how long were you in the industry?" She's like, "I was in the industry for 7 years." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, that's kind of a lot of movies, huh?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's quite a few." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So anyways, I'm in the car and I'm taking her back home. I go in the car and I just have all these thoughts, and the enemy is murdering me, telling me about all the movies she's done. Oh, she's done this, she's done that. And I was up all night and just battling with it. And I had to learn to like cast these thoughts down. And I said, "You know what? Enough is enough." I am literally going to have a conversation with her the next day. So I go to with Brittany. It's on a Saturday morning. And I said, "Can I just have an honest conversation with you?" And she's like, "Absolutely." And I was like, she's like, "Well, what do you want to talk about?" I was like, "Can we talk about your past?" And then she's like, "Wait, my past?" And I'm like, "Yeah, can we talk about your past?" And she's like, "Well, what do you want to know about it?" I was like, "You know what, Brittany, if we want to do this relationship right and we want to do this well, I need to know about your past, because I believe that if I don't know what happened with you in your past."
and this is where it should have ended. You should have heard this and walked away. Do you think that they'll divorce, Doug? Oh, I muted you before because there was background noise. Do you think they'll divorce?
Oh, is there still background noise?
No, there was for a second earlier. I don't know if you're moving something or whatever. I just heard it subtly.
Oh, okay.
You're fine. It wasn't super bad. But do you think they'll divorce? If so, when?
Well, they've been together for almost 10 years and they have 2 kids. I mean, if it hasn't happened by now, because wait, hold on. How old is she? How
What
old?
are you talking about? Half the divorces happen at like the 20-year mark.
I thought it was 7 to 8 years is the average.
That's the first round of divorces, but the second round comes after the kids get out of the house. Yeah, you think you're good at 10 years? There's even great divorce. Doug, what channel are you on? Where have you been?
No. What I'm saying is because here's the thing. I didn't get to the part that I want to talk about yet. She's safe. She's moved past her corn career and found this simp. He's serving a function. Understand what I'm saying? Like, she gets a better quality of life because she's been successful in infiltrating her way into the church. And she's also addicted to this whole ministry thing. So is he going to have a rough time? Yes. But I think that she's getting way too much out of this. I mean, she gets to preach at a church. She's seen as a holy woman. If she succeeds, I think it's purely for selfish purposes. You know, you could even argue, does she love this man? No, but the status that she's achieved of moving past her past and being a godly woman, that's that's her new addiction.
Yeah, I think she'll divorce him. I give it 10 years. Whenever she gets because this media career won't last forever. I mean, Megyn Kelly made it the oldest, but you know what I mean? Like, most women don't have 20-year media careers. So whenever that starts to dwindle, she'll be like, "See ya." That's what I think. Okay, let's keep going.
She's 37 years old.
Yeah, I give it 10 years.
I think the enemy will try to use that later on in our future. And she's like, "Okay, what do you want to know?" And I was like, "Well, I just have a few questions." I'm like, "How many movies did you do?" And she said, "I did over 200 films." So 200 films? And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Is there anything else I need to know about your past?" She's like, "Well, I was an escort." And I'm like, "An escort?" She's like, "Yeah, I had a pimp. So I had a pimp and I was escorted. I did a lot of escorting jobs." And I said, "Oh my gosh." The pimp thing really got me, Pastor Vlad, because I watched that in movies and hear it in songs, but knowing that she
And
had
that's the thing. A lot of guys have no idea the life the girl they're with lived before she met him. You know what I mean? Like women will have messed with celebrities, been on yachts, like and the guy will just this hot girl will move in or move in town and they'll be like, ooh, hot girl. They're like, they don't do hoe facts at all.
A pimp? I don't know. It got to me. And then I was like, all right, God, like, I don't know what to do. And I started like processing and I tried to be respectful as I could with this girl because here I am getting hit that she's did over 200 films.
Because you were already almost like, you were not okay, but you knew about the pornography, but you didn't know up to the extent. And now
I'm
this
getting
new revelation.
Now, yes, I'm getting hit with more things, right? So here I am hearing all of this, and I am like being conflicted in my heart. And I ask God, are you sure this is the woman that you want me to be with? Because
yeah, I think he just wants to make money. So he's like, oh, I can make money off of this pastor story. So wifing a hoe. And then it's got to just be money for him because he can now market his church to all the other hoes to pay him money.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, so it's just a money grab. I think the most honest men are men that make money off of men. So, for example, I think of accountants. Are they honest? I feel like they're honest. Although
They cannot be though.
yeah, I know. I was just thinking of some examples of ones that aren't.
Yeah.
They probably aren't with women though.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think guys just see way too much opportunity to just like rob women.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, I don't think it makes them good people because it's like they just see, like the doctors are like, oh, you're super sick. Yeah, here's a $100,000 treatment. The women are like, really? The husband will be like, I'm going to see 5 doctors just to make sure you're telling me the truth, asshole.
Exactly.
Like guys will be dying and not believe it. Like, they'll be like, you're lying as they're like dying, like half dead.
Need a super chat?
Yeah, where women are like, Pearl, be honest, not hating on your content. 8.5 out of 5. Curious if that matters. If a lady listens to an enlightened woman who has been ran through, which is over one body, or an old lady who never strayed from the path, I'd pick the old lady who never strayed from the path. I would pick her. Let me know when you find her. Go ahead.
There are, I don't mean to interrupt, but there are, one second. There's a pro read on the website. Omni mentions good apology, but I still don't get to raise my OF prices. Okay. And then Omni mentions nobody does ask those uncomfortable questions. Michael Knowles didn't, Charlie Kirk didn't. Why do they think these guys will? So he's talking about the interviewer. Are there any other pro reads on here? Avni mentions you were looking for a word to describe and to name this BS better than the word gaslighting. It's called the travesty. So she's travestying. Are any other pro reads on here? I think that is it. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
I don't know. I just told myself that I never want to be the type of man to bring up her past. I never wanted to be the type of man to use that, against her later on. And the reality is I felt like if I couldn't accept her past, then I shouldn't be the man to walk with her in her future. And I remember talking to God that day. I said, God, is this the woman that you want me to be with? And he said, yes, Rich. And he reminded me about 2 Corinthians 5:17, that she's not her past is gone. She's a new creation. So I went and I looked at Brittany and I just told her, thank you, love, for being honest with me. And I want to tell you, despite your past and everything that you have done, that you're not a product of your past. You're a product of God's grace. And I'm willing to do this life with you. And I don't care what happened in the past. The past is irrelevant because we still have a future ahead of us. And I choose us and I choose you. And I'd love to be with you.
Did that just kind of that revelation, did that settle those arguments, or you still were tempted down the road to ask more details? Was there fear? Well, what if you get cheated on?
Oh, that's really good because honestly, there was moments that happened. Okay. So here I am. There's one thing
been cheated on. I would bet my life savings that she has banged another dude in their 10-year marriage. I would bet my life
Insane.
savings. I mean, there's no way. She took 100 and now she wants to stay with one. She did monogamy never, and now she can do it right. Go ahead.
Could you imagine being in a sexless marriage with a former porn star? L. Yep.
Let me see the kids. So I want to see what their kids look like. I want to see if it's actually Love Always Ministries. Let me look.
To learn about someone's past, there's another thing when you have to experience it. Let me explain. After we had all this, right? We are hanging out and we're going on a date, go back to my house, and we're all hanging out. I have friends who, lived with me there, roommates who were there. And one moment we're just hanging out, watching a movie. All of a sudden, I get a direct message on my phone. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, Sue's direct messaging me because, I look on Instagram. Soon enough, somebody direct messaged me a photo of her in the industry doing something very inappropriate. And I freak out. And I'm like, what is this? And I show Brittany and she's like, oh my gosh. And she was literally mortified. And I just deleted it. And she looked at me and I know what she was doing. She was looking at me because I wanted to see, she probably wanted to see, well, maybe you could explain this part.
No, I was looking at him in horror. Like I was so afraid.
Yeah, so now he gets sent her corn for the rest of his life. They said, LOL, I was the guy that sent him that picture. Not all heroes wear capes.
Did you read Fiery Bill's last super chat? He's like your number one fan now.
Which one? Where is he?
The blue,
why do I not see it?
the blue one.
Pearl, does your past paint you as a woman?
I think he meant paint you as a woman.
Paint you as a woman?
Yeah.
The past? What past?
I think he said he means, Pearl, does your past paint you as a woman? No, or taint you as a woman. Taint you as a woman.
Taint. Not really.
I mean, if you're hot, no.
I mean, Pearl, does it take? Oh, sorry. I don't know why. It depends how bad and how smart the woman is. Pearl, I like your channel because of your honesty. I'm curious if your past haunts you, because I know you. I know you have a past. Corn workers equals promiscuity. Do you know what? Not really, because I don't really have. I mean, I don't really like being tweeted my ex-boyfriend. That's kind of annoying, but other than that, it's not bad. Okay.
That he just saw that and I stayed silent and I just stared at him. Like, what is he gonna say?
Yeah.
Is he going to break up with me right now? Like what's
You know what? You guys ask some weird questions. Sorry.
gonna happen? And I stayed quiet. I went into like freeze mode.
Yeah.
And I looked at you with a look of fear and you just responded in such a gracious way.
Yep.
And you said, hey, something along the lines of like, don't worry, love. Like, you're not a product of your past. You're a product of God's grace.
Yep.
Wow.
That's it.
And I deleted that. And
but that was not the last time.
That was not the last time.
No, unfortunately.
It was a series of time after time after time. One of the worst ones when we went to my parents' house in Santa Barbara for Thanksgiving, hanging out. All of a sudden, I get this alert on Facebook, and my page was public. Somebody ends up finding my page, putting a nude photo of her, having intimacy with another man right on my wall, and says, this is the whore that you're going to marry the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I am like, are you kidding me? Luckily, I saw that right away, Pastor Vlad, and I went and deleted it. But I went through a streamline of people, sending me stuff of her past, and it wasn't easy. And I had to learn to deal in traffic with that.
Do you think she gives the same gluck to him she gave on camera?
No. I really don't. Because I don't think that he's required it, and she's not attracted enough to give it to him. So I would say no. I don't
one
think
thing that
I don't think he's getting the 30% of what he used to give the corn stars.
Yeah.
He probably gets
helped
like
me.
starfish missionary.
What percent of your married friends had worse sex after they got married, would you say? Like what
All of
percent?
them.
Really? They all
Every
complain
single
about
one of
it?
them. Yep.
Really?
And then so maybe it drops down by 70% after you get married, but when you have a kid, it's like it drops by 90%. Like I'm talking when you have a kid, you get a hand ski on Valentine's Day. And well, as long as you treat it like a queen on Valentine's Day, you may get a hand ski, and then your birthday you may get a little bit, and that's it. Especially when you have multiple kids, there's no sex. I don't have any children, but that's what my friends who have kids
Is
say.
there any that didn't have that experience?
Every single man I know that got married ended up
Exactly.
in a sexless marriage.
How do you still want to get married?
What's that?
Like if I heard, because you still are open to getting married, aren't you? You said you can afford a divorce.
Yeah.
But like if
Uh-huh.
I heard that, like if 100% of the women I knew had terrible sex after marriage and a kid,
So,
you know what I
here's the
mean?
thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I'm open to it, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. See, it's funny because when you say that you're open to marriage, people think that you're gonna just fall into it.
No,
No, like
but I meant like, yeah, but like for me, I'm like, if every single person I knew had that experience, because you said everyone, and I'm like, if that was me, I wouldn't even consider it. So I was just curious, like, what makes you still
you know,
consider it?
I'm open to it. I've been married. There are actually good things to it. You just have to. I don't know. I just say that I'm open to it. If I don't get married again, I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't have to.
Okay, I was just curious because I'm like 100%. You don't even know one good one. I'm like, that's
Mm-mm.
so bad.
And the thing about it is I know married couples where it's positive in other ways, like the woman's, maybe supportive, doesn't get on his nerves and stuff, but their sex life is just awful. Like,
Really?
especially when you compare it to when they first got together. Like, all the guys I know were like, "Oh, we first got together, it was so good." It just falls downhill. It's like you
But
have to be able to accept it
I
as a
don't
man
like. I just don't understand. Do the women are they
if you want to get
cheating?
married.
Are they cheating? Like they don't want to have sex? The
W-
women,
Women use sex to get what they want, and once they have it, they don't have to use it anymore.
but they don't like sex.
N- Maybe not. It's just,
They have to be getting it somewhere else. Then
I
do
mean,
you think they're cheating?
yeah, probably with the amount that women cheat nowadays,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay,
Wouldn't surprise me.
that would make more sense. That would make more sense. Okay.
But
And
yeah,
this is why I think
yeah.
it's so imperative.
Go
I
ahead.
guess the thing about because me, the only time I'm for marriage, and guys, I tell young guys don't get married, but if you're gonna have kids, try to have them in the context of a marriage because that's the best way to have children. Um, but yeah, I don't, you know, so that would be the only. If you don't want to be a single dad out here, you don't want to have a baby mama, and so if you want to have kids, I don't want children. I don't have any, but if you want to have kids, at least try to do it in the context of a marriage. I do like how Kevin Samuels said that there needs to be more families because I think that that's a solution to a lot of the world's ills. So, and then honestly, there isn't going to be a time in my lifetime where most men aren't going to get married. I think even when I die, 50% of men are still going to be getting married. So that's my viewpoint on it.
Just I guess do the. So does the sex drop off after the marriage? Also after. How do
Well,
I put it?
okay.
Like I'm just wondering if it came. Is it that bad before the kids? Like when does the sex stop?
So
Go ahead.
what happens is you have sex a lot when you first get together, and maybe the first year, or two, and that's when you can. If you're laying in bed, you can do the poke, 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 and she'll roll over, and you can do it. You can initiate anytime you want. When you get married, it starts being on a schedule or when she wants it. So like, and she'll literally start saying no, and then she'll nuclear say no when you get married. Like, um, I told you I have a headache. I told you I can't. To get you to the point where you stop asking or you stop initiating, and you stop even looking for signs, right? And that's how it slowly dwindles. And then when you have kids, it's completely. My friends who have kids have gone 6, 7, 8 months without having sex with their wife.
How many so you don't know one couple that still has sex?
Like they did when they were young,
Or at least
more
just
than
more than okay, let's say twice a week.
I don't know one that's married that has sex more than once every 2 weeks.
Oh my
Every married
god.
couple I know.
It takes like it doesn't have to take that long. Like, I don't understand what Oh my gosh. Okay. No more legal marriages. Legal marriages have become threesomes. The government is third. Look up Orion Tarabon. He explains sexless marriages. He is solid 9 out of 10. I just thought you would still know somebody that had sex. Like I thought I don't know. I thought you would know somebody.
Nobody. So Chris Nielsen says no, you originally married the wrong woman. So I've never been in a relationship where we didn't have sex. It was just every other part. It's like my ex-wife spent way too much money and I caught her cheating. So that's why we got divorced. But the sex never really fell off. I mean, we were still having sex, but we ended up long distance, and she cheated when we were long distance. But we were together. I've never been in a relationship where we stopped having sex like we were at the beginning. So, but just
Yeah,
long distance, you can't do long distance, guys. If you're long distance, she's cheating on you.
All right, let's do the next one.
that couples talk about their past is that she already told me what she did in her past, so it gave me
I almost think women that don't like the men that much tell the men about their past. Because if you really liked him, you wouldn't want to mess it up. Do you know what I mean? Like I think that like when men cheat, if they hide the cheating, they like the girl more. It's the same thing with the past. Cuz it's like if the guy really likes the girl, he doesn't want to hurt her and the girl too. Not that obviously this one was on the internet, so she had no choice, but like I've just noticed in my friends that have been completely honest with their boyfriends or whatever about their past, it's like these simp guys that'll take anything.
I agree.
Yeah.
it armed me for the future. So those words didn't affect me. Those photos didn't affect me.
Were you afraid though that her past will be showing up for a very long time in your life? And
Absolutely. It did bring fear into me. One of the things that really brought fear to me is like, okay, they're sending it to me, but what if they send it to my family? Well, one day, my father, goes and talks to one of his friends, and his friends actually watched her porn. And knew who she was. And she goes to my dad.
Oh no.
Oh no. You know they all did. They're probably like great work.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yep. And here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna say, if I was in high school and one of my friends' mom was on OnlyFans or was a porn star, I would grill him nonstop. He wouldn't want to have me as a friend anymore because he couldn't say anything to me. I would, anytime he tried to say anything or make fun of me, I'd say, "Well, your mom's a whore." Sorry. Like it's the ultimate trump card. People, no, why would you do that? You're so mean, guys. We know how cruel kids are and how cruel boys are to each other. Well, I don't think that boys are as cruel as girls, but still.
I want to play devil's advocate here.
Mhm.
Is it going to hold as much weight when everyone's mom either has a sex tape out there or is on OnlyFans?
The majority of mothers will never be on OnlyFans. in my lifetime. So I think it's always going to be uh, a small minority. I think maybe at the most it'll be like 15 to 20% at the highest, maybe.
I
But there's
think it'll
still
get
going. What's that?
I think it'll get higher. I think
Really?
80% of women have some sort of nudes or sex tapes out there. I would say 80% of women have sent nudes to a guy that has them on his phone still to this day.
Yeah, but I'm talking about your mother's a public figure when it comes to sex work.
I think
And
it's
like,
gonna get higher. I've just seen too many. I know it's getting bad when I see it start to seep into young women. I start to know. I know that's when, okay, I'll tell you, this is usually how it happens for me. I'll cover the story on the show, and 2 to 3 years later, it seeps into my personal life. So like
Oh,
2
wow.
to 3 years ago, I talked about women on antidepressants. That was the first time I covered the story. 2 to
Mhm.
3 years later, I know women that I've known for years that are on antidepressants. It's starting to happen with OnlyFans, where I'm knowing young women that are considering going on it. And I'm like, I think it's actually gonna get bad. I think it's gonna be to the point that like every class has a few people in it at least that has a mom that has something.
Yeah, but I think so. Maybe if 1 out of 5 boys' mothers are on OnlyFans or sex work, the 4 other ones are still gonna gang up and make fun of that one kid.
Yeah, they
It's not
totally
gonna
will.
be where the 4 boys have moms on OnlyFans and they're making fun of the one boy for not having
I
who
know,
doesn't have their mom on
but
OnlyFans.
here's the problem, like, if it's not OnlyFans, like, half of the moms have thirst traps out there. They're gonna be single.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
true.
mean? So it's like, I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm just wondering how the future's gonna look when he's like, "Yeah, your mom is OnlyFans." Okay, so your mom has your ass picture right here. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but you can't see her banging, and he's like, "I might as well," you know, like. So, Pearl, you believe a fake relationship based on lies, truth is better for the longevity of the relationship. I believe a relationship should be transparent. If a woman is a 1+, then at the end of it, well, there should and is. And what results do you think are better? Men that cheat and tell their wife, or men that cheat and hide it? And women that have sex with a lot of men and tell their husbands, or women that lie? Now, I am not saying it's moral to do so I'd like you to take that out of it. But if you were just results based, like if I was a company and my job was to get both genders married or to get like whatever, yeah, it's kind of, you know, Trump, he'll deny banging that porn star till he dies because he loves Melania. He loves her. He loves her. She kind of knows, but you know.
Tells my dad, did you know that, the woman that your husband's seeing was in the her son that was dating, her stage name. He said her stage name in the industry. And he's like, yeah, I know. He's, oh, okay. Not knowing, like, yeah, like basically he's over here watching all of her stuff.
There you go.
And for me, it was tough. It was difficult because, I had moments. I mean, I could go on this forever. I had moments one day, a friend of mine who we were in the same Bible study. He needed an address and he said, here's my phone. And I was like, okay, I'm going to put an address in. But then all of a sudden on Google, I accidentally pressed like the search tab. It said her stage name. Oh, wow. I wanted to strangle him. But luckily, I had the Lord in my heart. And I was just going to.
You wanted to strangle him? Why didn't you want to strangle her? The anger is always in the wrong direction. I hate these
100% true.
I
Guys,
hate
you
these
can't
simps.
like it's like how Lana Rhodes and all these were like, I want my content scrubbed from the internet. Come on, man. No, it's there forever. Internet 101. Anything out on the internet is there forever. Come on now.
Murder him. But put that address in and I walked away. But there are so many times where the enemy tried to bring fear, and especially on the cheating thing, because here's how the enemy would get me.
Yeah.
He would say things like, well, how would you know if she cheated on you? You haven't seen all her films. So what if someone sends you a photo and she's actually actively cheating? But that's where I had to learn to trust in God, and I had to learn to trust my partner.
I guess what other choice do you have?
Yep. You're way too far into it now.
God's got to save you from this hoe.
Dude, his dad, his uncles, everyone could be whacking off to his wife. Oh, no. Yeah, Jimmy Jack Jasper Jones said partner. See, pastors are saying the word partner now. Insane.
One thing about our relationship, Pastor Vlad, is her and I are an open book. There is no secrets because transparency is what silences the enemy. Her and I are transparent with each other. And I had to learn that if I want to do life with her, that I have to be willing to trust her. And that wasn't easy, but because of her and I be transparent with each other, it helped me to deflect the cheating thoughts and other thoughts that would try to come to my mind.
How was it for you, Brittany, when you were in the relationship with him and all of these things would keep popping up? I mean, here you are, you abandoned that lifestyle. Jesus has forgiven you. You're trying to focus on the future. And it's like you're free from that. You're not tempted by that anymore.
Yeah.
But now the enemy throws something else your way to kind of almost make you live in this conscious state of shame and guilt.
Yeah. In the beginning, I definitely would say that I was mortified, but he led the way really well, where eventually he just died to it. So it went from affecting him to this doesn't affect me anymore. And the moment
this is the thing, men adapt to the market. They're like, he's like, all these church broads are ugly. This is the only hot chick in here. Do I need a hot chick or a woman with a porn past? And he's like, oh, I'm going to have to stomach it. I don't know if I can do it. Then they adapt. They get the punani. And someone will always do it. The $10 super chat I just got here is the guy in the green hoodie, a simp. He's a super simp. Actually, he's like a simp 9,000.
he died to it was the moment that I died to it, because I thought, wow, if it's not harming him, then it's not harming me.
Someone may look at your situation and say, well, from a human perspective, and some people have that, because of their past, they feel like, well, you shouldn't deserve to be married and have a great marriage. Have you ever had those thoughts? Has somebody tried to remind you of that?
Oh yeah, all the time. I went on that great show, the Whatever podcast. And and it's a lot of people in that red pill movement, and I get messages all the time. Someone wrote me something the other day on a comment of a post of us and just says things like this just make me hate my life, because here's this woman who is in porn and she's got a great man, and here I am still single, and so yeah, we get it a lot. But I recognize that when people throw shade at you, it's just a reflection of their own heart, so it really doesn't bother.
That's gaslighting.
Yep.
No, we're like disgusted by your behavior, and then they're like, no, it's your heart. Really? Because I didn't get gangbanged on camera. I didn't, I'm not saying I'm a saint, but there's just some things that I do think, I think they keep you too, like you're too far gone to interact with normal society. Pearl, disappointed. I never interacted with your channel, but you always seem so truthful and moral, even if you were a woman. But you say that results are better than truth. I didn't say that they're better. Okay. I think you can predict behavior better by looking through the lens of what works. So if I wanted to predict, are men that can cheat gonna cheat? It's a very hard language distinction. So I understand why you think that. It kind of takes some time to adapt to. It doesn't really matter if I say like, oh, men shouldn't marry corn stars or women should be honest. I have to look at what works, right? And lying does work. I hate to say that's why people do it. Personally, I think it would be tough to live with like a ton of like secret, you know what I mean? But I gotta be honest, if lying works, a lot of people are gonna do it. Pearl, morality is truth is better than results or views, be better. I don't understand like what that means, be better. Because I noticed lying works.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to? I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't say do it, right? But yeah. Did you guys see Sadia Khan got exposed? I didn't, but I heard. I think I saw a clip. She's like a side chick or something to a married guy. I don't know. When she was in London, she told me her boyfriend or husband or no, it was her boyfriend lived in a different country. It was like in Dubai. Jeebus Age Crepes, the guy in the green hoodie, is part of the Save the 304 movement. If you are going to criticize me, I don't mind you guys spending $50 to do so. So if you want to, if Fiery Bro has more on that, you could keep. You go ahead.
It says this is a recording. This is a recorded conversation between Sadia Khan after she's discovered to be the side piece of an engaged man. His fiance confronted her. The following screenshots are text that Sadia. Ooh, I'll put this in the private chat if you want to go over it real fast.
Yeah, I'll get to the end of this section and then we'll go to that to close out the show.
Me most of the time, and if I'm not in a hurry, I take the time to say a little prayer over them as I delete the
But in the
comment.
beginning, when you were just walking with the Lord, was that playing some mind games on you?
I don't think I got it as much in the beginning. It was more him that was getting the brunt of the attacks. Like, yeah, you know, I would get people saying like, "Oh, you're going to get married. Why not just marry me?" You know, because the problem is with porn is it builds those like parasocial relationships or the para bonds. So they think that because they've been intimate in a way with you on the porn screen, they feel like they have possession and ownership.
Okay. We might continue this tomorrow. This is pretty entertaining. All right, let's see the private chat. All right, what is Sadia Khan doing? Do you know what? All of my enemies take down themselves.
Is the sound up? The sound's not on.
Oh, the sound's not on?
Yeah, I can't hear the sound from
it's
there.
lost connection to your restart your browser. Let me see. Okay, I might dip for a second. Can you hear me?
You're out of. Okay, there you are.
All right, let's try again. It said the thing dipped. Okay, let's see if you can hear it now.
To know about her.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me refresh it so it starts over.
I'll suck his dick if you have an attitude, and I can do it today if I want to.
Go
and
on.
I can do it on your wedding day and your birthday.
Okay, well,
and the
we'll
days
see.
After.
Okay.
I've been in situations where he's been with you in a social setting. He'll call me after.
This is the biggest scandal that Sadia Khan doesn't want you to know about her. She preaches on her page and on her content that she's a high-value woman. She can teach you how to attract a high-value woman if you're a man for thousands of dollars for one-on-one coaching. Let's see how much she values herself as a woman.
The main thing I would say to be a high value woman is always you have ability to reject attention.
Hold up. Okay, wait a minute. It says, look at her, LOL, so cute and innocent. When there's life, there's hope, followed by bum cheeks. Babe, when can I have sex with you? You're so long, I need a substitute. It's mainly me. You just happen to be there. Okay.
Something ain't right. The third step towards becoming a high value woman, and this is genuinely so important, it's self-awareness. Now,
Okay, wait. And girl can choose any man, no in Dubai. Who else has a side chick on this level and gives them no stress? Told you I'm such a sick side chick. We can't have a normal conversation without you talking about hoes, relationships, marriage, cheating, murder. Heel man, welcome to Sadia. Okay.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Only one thing that all women want.
Okay, wait. I'm a soldier. They just to marinate. All right, it won't be long. Get excited. Just FYI, I'm not taking any more 11 p.m. school night D ride appointment. I still haven't caught up on my missed sleep. He said, you had fun though. You don't know that might have hated it. I'll leave my car running next time. No point in switching it off. Would you you left my front door open the whole time, so might as well as you might have hate. Okay.
What are you going to do about it? I'll suck his dick if you have an attitude. And I can do it today if I want to.
Go on.
And I can do it on your wedding day.
Wow, that is. Well, my enemies always take themselves out.
Yep. Grift is going to grift.
Well, all right. Any final thoughts on the preacher hoe, Doug MPA?
Yeah, are they going to grade divorce? Maybe, but she just has to do a value prop. She is married. She has fully infiltrated. She's completed the journey from whore to church woman. She did it. She's what Nala is trying to be. And
Yeah.
she'd have to give that up by divorce. I don't know if she's ready for that. And then do you think that if she's been out of the game for 20 years, is her past always going to haunt her even 20 years later? I would think so.
I mean, I just think that she's too much of a hoe. She'll just miss the streets.
Yeah.
I think she'll cheat. So, anyways.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on today, Doug MPA. They're one in for you in the chat. Thank you to everyone for watching today. Thank you for the super chats. And we'll be back tomorrow, same time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.